Think about the most evil thing a person can do. Most people would say murder, but there is something even deeper, darker, and more uncomfortable. Something that makes our skin crawl just thinking about it. Cannibalism. Today, the idea of eating another human is the ultimate game over for your social life. It's the stuff of horror movies and nightmares. But if we look back at the history of your ancestors and my ancestors, we find a very messy truth. Archaeologists keep finding human bones with the exact same butcher marks as deer and mammoths. From 100,000 years ago to just a few centuries ago, humans weren't just hunters. Sometimes we were the prey, and the hunter was another human. So why did they do it? Were they monsters? Or was there a very logical, very human reason behind it? For a long time, scientists thought cannibalism was just about one thing: hunger. Imagine it's the middle of the Ice Age. The mammoths have moved south, the berries are frozen, and your tribe hasn't eaten in 2 weeks. In the brutal logic of nature, a dead body isn't a friend anymore. It's 125,000 calories of protein, fat, and life. One adult human can provide enough meat to feed a small group for several days. At sites like Guff's Cave in England, we found 15,000-year-old bones that were cracked open to get to the marrow. These people weren't serial killers, they were just desperate. But here's where the logic gets weird. A human is actually a low-tier food source. A mammoth gives you millions of calories. A deer is easier to catch and less likely to fight back with a spear. Eating humans as a primary diet is a terrible strategy. We are dangerous, smart, and not that nutritious. So if it wasn't just about calories, what was it about? In many cases, ancient humans ate each other for reasons that had nothing to do with a grumbling stomach. They did it for love and power. Anthropologists call it ritual cannibalism. There are 2 main types. First, there is endocannibalism, eating your own people when they die. In some ancient cultures, burying a body in the cold, dirty ground felt disrespectful. They believed that by eating a piece of their loved one, the person's strength and spirit would live on inside the tribe. It was the ultimate way to stay together forever. Then, there is exocannibalism, eating your enemies. This was psychological warfare. By consuming a fallen enemy, you weren't just winning the fight, you were stealing their mana, their courage, and making sure they could never come back to haunt you. It was the Stone Age version of a delete account button. Nature, however, has a very scary way of saying stop. If you eat too much human meat, specifically the brain, you run into a monster called a prion. Prions are broken proteins that turn your brain into a sponge. It leads to a disease called kuru. It makes you lose control of your body, laugh uncontrollably, and eventually, your story ends. But here's the most mind-blowing part of this entire story. Scientists looked at the DNA of modern people all over the world, including you, and they found something incredible on chromosome 20. Most humans carry a specific genetic mutation that protects us from these brain-wasting diseases. Evolution doesn't give you a shield unless there is a sword. The only way we could have evolved this protection is if our ancestors were practicing cannibalism for thousands of years. Your DNA is a smoking gun. It is proof that at some point in your family tree, someone had a very uncomfortable dinner. So, why did ancient humans eat each other? They did it to survive the winter. They did it to honor their dead. They did it to strike fear into their enemies. We like to think we are completely different from those primitive people. But the reality is that we are the survivors of a very brutal world. We aren't here because we were the nicest species. We are here because we were the most adaptable. We did whatever it took to keep the fire lit for one more night. So the next time you feel a bit hangry, just be thankful for grocery stores. Because history shows that when the food runs out, humans start looking at each other very differently.